really successful in the markets only takes two easy things to know, which is market structure, who's buying and who's selling, and key areas of value that's in the markets. Whenever we see price fall down, like Sofa Academics teases caught at sofaacademics.com, to buy the dip, you have to see we're a state of a downtrend, and then there's a zone of buyers that step in and they break out past resistance, which is recent prices. Continue to the video, I'll show you guys where and how to actually capitalize on the markets, any market structure you're in. And just like we're seeing right now, the markets is in a sell-off. Let's take a look at the current state of the markets. As we see, the market is currently in a neutral state. Fear and greed index is showing us where the buyers or sellers are, who's in control in the markets. Based off, we see that the market is a neutral 50, with 100 being extreme greed, fear being 0. So let's get into see what this means for us investors. Markets being neutral is a great sign, as markets last week were ending up in extreme greed. These last few months, markets have been on a huge run. I mean, we got normal consumers feeling like they're Bill Gates and Elon Musk when it comes to investments. Portfolios are on the rise. So whenever we see a lot of people are buying, when markets reach new highs, we have to get a sell-off. And this is a great sign for people like me and you, regular investors, who want to start seeing a correction in the markets, or maybe a sell-off or lower prices so we can enter back again. And with markets being neutral from being in extreme greed, that is a great sign. So let's continue looking at where markets end up with this week. Maybe we can get a pullback in August, maybe a slight sell-off for a few weeks, which would be a great direction towards a huge rally. Like I said, Sofa Academic tees by the dip. In order for the market to reach higher highs, we had to make sure that we hit a huge low, a market crash, maybe some type of structure in the markets that throws the charts off and makes huge volume. So let's take a look into how we're going to capitalize off this month and the next 6 months in the markets. First thing I want you guys to keep an eye on is Bitcoin in August. Bitcoin is having a phenomenal run this year. We're seeing cryptos, anything are tied to cryptocurrency, and it's pushed with Donald Trump and the regulation to start institutionalizing these crypto coins and Bitcoin getting pushed more. This price right here, I want to keep in the key zone with August into the next 6 months to around 150,000 to 165,000. 114,000 currently is where Bitcoin's sitting at, and that's a great price for people who maybe been not paying attention to any investments this year, and they want to start at something that's very rapid in growth, and it gives you nice way to start diving into cryptocurrency and getting Coinbase started. I also suggest dollar cost into Bitcoin in the next 6 months, especially with this creep price right now. If we get in right now, we can get a guarantee of 35 to 50% return off investment once Bitcoin starts pushing or rates start getting lower, and we're continuing to see more economic data with inflation. I love this crypto right here. People always pay attention to, oh, Bitcoin is too high. Bitcoin is already at 100,000. I'll never afford one Bitcoin. Not really. If you continue looking at Bitcoin's price movements and trends, and you can buy the dip at Sofa Academics and pay attention to key dips that we see right now, Bitcoin is already at least off down about 8%. And Bitcoin always has this 8% moves we see. But if we see a bigger drop, more than 8%, guys, that's my key to you, telling that you should be buying the dip in Bitcoin and start really adding this cryptocurrency portfolio as we see more corporate companies adding it to the balance sheet. Y'all know I love to make these videos whenever we see a huge market crash. Everybody's panicking. Oh, it's crying cat and dogs. I love whenever the market's in fear, or we see this a huge turnaround in market trends from maybe being up so high and the market dropped. This gets me more motivated into paying attention to how the markets react and where prices are going to end up reversing. So Ethereum right now is currently at 3,400, and we can like to see it. Ethereum sitting at this price level, especially if we're going to continue buying back towards $4,000, and we're going to push to Ethereum in the next 6 months. I say accurate price about $6,000. We can hit Ethereum by the end of 2025. So if we get in right now, we still have at least 80% to 100% return off investments buying around 3,800. And the more you hold Ethereum, I noticed that your growth of return actually really starts growing strong is the earlier you buy Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I could tell that Ethereum right now, if you buy Ethereum during April, that a lot of people already have a good balance, a lower price at Ethereum because they've been watching the videos and stuff for academics. But right now is not a bad time for you to enter if you missed the great run that we had in April. I continue loading up around now during this dip right here, which is a great one. We were just running up to 3,900. We almost touched 4,000 with Ethereum, but we ended up having a huge sell-off to drop it back down to 3,300. But next type price target for Ethereum is about 4,500. So that'll give you a nice, great return, 20 to 50% reverse. If we continue pushing and holding this one to the rest of the year, guys, we can lock in this price. There really is just one of those cryptocurrencies I suggest people getting into after Bitcoin. Ethereum gives you that fast, rapid growth, but you carry on more risk. I mean, you see in this big drop we had in 2025, we had about a 50% drop in Ethereum price just to start off the new year. Like that's ridiculous. 60% drop in Ethereum, and people who are investing into Ethereum, I'm sure they're like, oh, this is not even worth investing in no more. Like, I should sell my Ethereum. But you know, as self academics, we held on during that market crash, and we ended up buying more Ethereums. We ended up collecting about 9 Ethereums, adding it to the portfolio, and now we rose up back to this huge gain already. If you were dollar cost averaging and then continue buying the dip, we rose up and we had about 164% return. And that's solely off investing 10,000. You would have made about 30,000. You would have times 3 your investment with this whole move right here that we was anticipating with Ethereum this year. But we got more room to run up, guys. If I say that this right here, we just have to move, we got more to push up to about 6,000 with Ethereum. So make sure if you're holding Ethereum, I went ahead and took my profits. I sold about 20 to 30% off my return profit from Ethereum. So now I'm gonna continue back loading up dollar cost average around this new area of resistance that we touched 3,900. And now we're gonna continue loading up on more Ethereum in the future. If we see any big minor dips like I'm seeing right now, you want to continue buying that. Let's go back into my favorite stock to buy, which is Nike. Nike has to be one of my favorite shoes to wear as a consumer. And Nike's is what I grew up watching. I'm seeing Jordan hitting the wide open free throw dunks and stuff like that. That just inspired me to be an investor for Nike as well. Nike is currently sitting at $74, and we pushed up to $80 last week. But now Nike's back in correction. We see a lot of corrections in Nike, but Nike has not been performing phenomenal these last few months. Nike's been down the last 1,337 days. If I'm an investor, I'm low-key skeptical about buying this stock, but we got to pay attention to how Nike's performing these last 2 months. And Nike seems to be really reversing from being in this huge downtrend. We see a nice little bottom right here. Every time Nike falls down, we have a huge area of support where Nike bounces back maybe in the next few weeks or next few days. But as a long-term investor, I want to buy this stock just because we get dividends. Dividends is what allows another stream of income, guys. We'll get a percentage of investment in return for just holding the stock, putting your money in it. I think about Nike as a great bank account that will give you more rewards and more profit than just letting it sit in the bank account. So if I can get and build up a nice capital investment for about maybe $5,000, then if I put $5,000 in Nike and hold it for at least a year, Nike pushes up to $140. Not only we only got movement for about having $5,000 at $70 where we bought, which is probably get about like 14 to 30 shares. So let's say we get 30 shares each, and Nike runs up to 140. 30 times 70, that would give us about maybe a $2,000 return investment from just holding that right there. And then we flip that right there to go to about $5,000 to $10,000 right there holding it. And then we get nice dividends as well. So dividends is whenever we get 60 cents a share for the 30 shares that we own from Nike stock. And Nike is going to continue growing. You see, it's been around since like the 80s, 1983. When we continue loading up and be a long-term investor right here for Nike stock will be a great way to start investing in the stocks in 2025. The reason why I like Nike stock is you don't have to have a lot of money aside. You don't have to have thousands of dollars. You can literally invest with what you have with Nike stock and really start practicing how to start buying the dip. Like literally, every time we buy a dip in the stock, patience is going to come back in order where we're going to start reaping what we sow. And we're going to be able to take a nice profit once we get this candlestick. But the market has to go on this type of trend consistently over time in order for it to fall and be down for a quick period of time. And then we're able to buy the dip and continue loading up for the rest of our lives, guys. This is how we invest. Long-term investors, we buy stocks like Nike whenever it's underperforming the stocks for a long time. It's down 1,338 days. It's down 59%. So if I invest $2,000, I can get half of that, $1,000. If I invest maybe $10,000, I can get half of that. I can get $5,000. And you know, us knowing these simple terms of kind of market patterns we're seeing, any market trends, candlesticks where they underperform or they fall or they're rising, it's just a good type of strategy or skill to have in your belt as an investor in 2025. And this is a great place to start, guys. Keep Nike on your radar for the next 6 months, especially if you're consistently wanting to create passive income. Passive income, first thing I think about is my stock Nike. I don't think about opening up an e-commerce website. I don't think about diving into real estate and not only living check to check right now. When I'm thinking about getting into investing in stocks, first thing is what's going to help me stop living check to check. Boom. This stock right here provides me a nice growth from me that's putting my money in the stock and me getting back from dividends. What else ways can I spend that revenue? Me budgeting, being able to throw more money into this stock right here so I can continue creating passive income while I'm working, my money is working. We don't have to start up a clothing line yet. We don't have to start opening up this huge mega business idea we have, but we're not capitally ready for it. We don't have enough capital aside. We don't have enough income. We don't even have enough time. So stocks like Nike is what help us break free from being able to live check to check and us not being able to live comfortably just because we don't have the money set for it or need time or the resources. That's going to cap it off for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you really understand the importance of knowing market structure and how trends, volume, and the market cap of these companies determine on how you have an entry level where you should know where to buy and you know where it should be selling and you know how people are reacting to economic news or maybe economic data in the markets and basic supply and demand, guys. Okay, so whenever we look at our companies and our make fish investments, we want to first know how we make these by knowing where our money lies in our banks or whenever money lies in our career. You are the money, guys. If you understand that, no matter how much money you think you have currently right now, it doesn't all matter because you are the one that provides the asset to come. Okay, you don't have to chase the dollar. You are the dollar. Any idea you have in your mind, you can do it. Any idea or any type of project that you have is what we do, guys. We look out for our brothers and sisters. Whenever it comes to creating money, guys, think about your God-given talent. Is this something that you have that helps people? Are you very creative? God gave you a talent, and that's why you're watching these videos, so you can explore those talents, you can invest in those talents, and we can get those talents out of you so you can do what God's plan is. Because now God gave you a talent, He wants you to come back with two, and He wants to make sure that you get those talents to other people so they bring up one of those talents to come back with two as well. So everything is multiplied. Whenever it comes to fruity labor, you make sure you multiply. Everything is multiplied. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.